Hello and welcome to Dice Tabletop. My name is Chris, and in this episode I'm going to be showing you a really quick and simple effective method of painting metal looking terrain. This is only going to take you about an hour to do, and you'll have your pieces looking great on the tabletop in no time. Apologies in advance, I'm coming out of the back end of a cold, so I'm all a little bit nasally, so my voice is probably sounding more awful than usual. Now, I've got these 5 pieces off a friend of mine. All of them are in various different stages at the moment. Some are primed, some are not. We've got 2 different pieces of plastic going on. They also need a little bit of prep work, so I did all that first, and now we are just going to get them all primed. Now, although some of them are primed, what I want is to have them all on the exact same base primer. This is going to ensure that I've got the same base point that I'm working from on every single piece, and I get consistency across all of them. So, loading up some black surface primer into the airbrush, we gave all these pieces a good thorough coating. One from the top down, the other from the bottom up. I think I still ended up missing a couple of pieces on these, but it's not too imperative. You won't notice once they're on the tabletop. These didn't take too long to do, and once they were done, I love how a simple, good, effective base coat just really brings any model, just pops and makes it come to life. Right, so the next thing that we're going to do now is going to be moving on to dry brushing it. For this, we are going to be using lead belcher, and I've also got a makeup brush. I've no idea what you'd use this for in makeup, but what we want is something that's quite like a bulb shape like that, that's open. We don't want flat panel at the moment, something that we can use in a circular motion, really make sure that we're covering surfaces as well as picking up all of those edges to start getting a nice little highlight off them. So I load up the brush first with the lead belcher, really working it into the bristles. We don't want to be too shy with this. We're not looking for a real sort of finishing highlight type of effect. We want to really base coat all of this with silver. Load your brush up, really slop it on there. If you end up having a couple of moments whereby you get some thick gouges across it, do not worry, that's all going to add to the effect. There we have it, we've got our base coat of lead belcher down. That only took around about 5 minutes to go around the whole thing, and it's already really starting to look great. By putting the dry brush over the top, it's still capturing the black all in the recesses, creating that lovely shadow and tonal range on the metal. So let's move on and start doing the other pieces. As you can see here, I purposely pressed the brush hard up against the surface of the model. I really wanted some thick, splotchy areas of metal, just to make it look like it's had some fresh wear in that spot. And you can see by the time we built this up across all of the model, that's really effective at creating a nice tonal range within the metal. So these didn't take me long to do. I think it was about 25-30 minutes to go around and get all of these a suitable level of base coat with the lead belcher. Now that we've got that done, the next thing we're going to do is come in with Rune Fang steel. This is where we are going to want a flat brush. We're only going to be loading the tip up with it, getting off as much of that paint as possible. We are then going to be using a brush in motion starting from the top down, and we really want to just be picking up all of those highlights now. This is going to be a good little edge highlight over everything, and also build up a couple of extra scratches as well, really starting to further add to that tonal range of the metal, bringing it up now to all those nice highlights. Dry brushing of Rune Fang steel now applied, and these are looking great. Those edges pop a hell of a lot more, and you can see a lot more depth now that is within that metal. So the next step that we're going to be moving on to is pipes. Now, I love copper pipes on terrain. Don't know why, it is just a little fetish of mine. So of course we are going to be going over every single pipe now with Balthazar Gold. We're going to be applying just one thick coat over this. Yes, I'm very sorry, Duncan. One thick coat. We're going to be applying that over all of the pipes. This is going to make sure that we just get through this really quickly. There are quite a lot of pipes when you move on to some of the chimneys and the finer details on this. It is really worthwhile putting the effort in and making sure you cover every single one. Now, this is going to be a part 1 of 2 video series. This is going to be getting you to a really quick, simple stage of getting this onto the tabletop. Next, we're going to come in, weather this, and do some more lighting effects. Alright, pipework complete, and I think you'll see why I just love copper pipeworks, the way that it contrasts against this steel look. Oh, it just pops so well, looks so industrial, and really fits the setting. So the next thing that we're going to need to do is within these plasma generators, there are of course these little coils. I want to paint those as if they're going to be glowing, so I'm going to use a really quick and effective glowing method. I also used this in the previous video I did with a Necron Cryptek. For this, the first thing we're going to do is get some white paint, thin this down slightly. I ended up swapping brushes, this one was a bit too delicate, and we are just going to load all of those recesses full of white paint. We want to paint all of the coils themselves, as well as go around and paint all of the actual inside bits as well. This is because we're going to come back in a mode, we're going to be using a ink, tinting all of that white, and it's going to make it look like it's glowing. So there we are with all of those recesses filled. We don't need a thick coat of this at all or to build up layers. We just want a base white so that there's something underneath to help the ink cover and do its magic. So this was a matter of loading the brush up. We are just applying this basically like a wash, really filling in the recesses. We want this to pool, create that nice depth between a dark glow and then catching all that lighter glow that would happen within the light range. Once that is dried, we are coming over the top of all of these coils just with a simple white and picking all of these out. Just a matter of taking your time and being careful. And there we have it, that's done. Let's see how they look on the tabletop. Now if you enjoyed this, please remember to like and subscribe. I've got a video coming out soon just keeping you updated with what's happening with the channel. But until then, enjoy and I'll see you next time.